What's up, everybody? I am Leo Reyes Rayon,
I'm Josh Glazer.
and we are the Rays and Glaze podcast. Today, we are going over the Arizona Cardinals. And now they have my favorite receiver since Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins. And I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm not that happy about it. And they were 5-10, 5-10-1 actually. And you know, they even though they passed the ball a lot, they actually were kind of in the bottom half of the league in passing yards, which I thought was kind of interesting. But now they add a big name receiver, a true number one receiver, along with the speed that they already had. With Christian Kirk, and all those guys. Andy Isabella, super fast. Just overall speed. Now they add a sure-handed guy like DeAndre Hopkins to Larry Fitzgerald. I think that's a really interesting combination. Obviously Kyler Murray had a big breakout year. He's going upward trajectory, you know what I mean? So like we'll see how he plays this year. I think he'll do better. But yeah, man, what are you thinking so far about them?
I think they need kind of one need. They have one missing piece they need on the offense. It's going to come down to implementing their run game a little better. Because as Kingsbury went last year, he went farther and farther away from multiple receiver sets and like 4 or 5 receivers out there, and he started doing more traditional stuff, formations with tight ends and such, and he realized that he didn't have any reliable tight ends to block in the run game. Mm-hmm. So that's why because they switched over to a different kind of mentality, that's why they were able to sneak up and beat some teams later in the year.
Right.
They probably had no business beating. But in order to continue in that path and really make a balanced offense that can succeed and hit in the future, you have to go tight end here at some point in this draft. But the key is finding a guy that's just really, really good at blocking and not really – and that's number one. And receiving, it's just safety net kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so kind of – and the reason for that is they already have guys that really like working over the middle of the field and DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald, even Christian Kirk, but he's more of their deep threat. Mm-hmm. But the middle of the field's already congested, so there's not a need for a tight end to be working over there and trying to. I mean, obviously they'll take one if they can. If he's a weapon, he's a weapon. But one guy I had for that is the guy Thad Moss.
Oh yeah.
Who kind of came on as a receiver later for LSU, and throughout the year he had some flashes, but he was more of just super steady blocker and just good enough receiver. After that, besides that, I think it's all defense. It's pretty much every position you can think of on defense. At edge, you could see them at 8, maybe reaching. They're kind of in that no man's land unless they go corner at 8 or something, or not sure if they're C.J. Henderson fans because it doesn't really fit their they like bigger corners on the outside, so I don't know if that would be a great fit. But I see them at 8. They could either go a guy like Chase on and maybe go a little early on him just because they need that edge pressure, or if they're trying to be more creative in this scheme, they could move a guy like Hassan Reddick, who was their first-round pick a couple years ago, and he's kind of struggled as a off-ball linebacker, and you move him back to where he succeeded in college at Temple, I believe, as an edge rusher. Mm-hmm. So you move him over, you get another edge guy. He'll be the edge guy across from Chandler Jones, and you can maybe find a linebacker at that 8 range. Then most likely I could see them trading back, but you never know. They probably just go for best player available. Who knows? It's Cliff Kingsbury. He could go receiver. But after that, linebacker is always in need. Not a lot of speed. And then you get down to DB. They just need everything. So it would really help things that have been put into defenses before that are really bad, and to help them kind of make a big jump, or a position like a Swiss Army knife kind of defensive back, kind of like maybe a Julian Blackman,
Mhm.
who's kind of raw but very rangy, or Terrell Burgess, who's very adaptable to the scheme. Or they go a little guy that's a corner all over the place, like Jarius Davis. The one last position I see them targeting is a man-to-man corner out there to put across from Pat Pete.
Mhm.
They need a big dude that can kind of play physical with the receivers and really kind of set the tone for them and allow that pass rush to get there, allow Chandler Jones to work. So a guy like Cam Dantzler, they might be able to get later.
Mhm.
They have a weird setup where they only have 8 and then 72 in this draft in the top 100.
Mhm.
So it really makes sense for them to trade back from 8. But if I'm taking the approach that at 72 it's gonna be the next pick after 8. So they have to go corner probably, or just figure ways to get guys that will affect the outcome of the defense, because the defense was such a big weight over their neck last year, and it's going to continue to be that even if the offense keeps improving, like it will with a
Mhm.
young quarterback and with a guy like Hopkins.
Yeah.
Any other positions that I didn't touch on that you
Um,
saw?
I I kind of thought I was thinking offensive line actually. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
guard is definitely a position that I see as they could upgrade there too.
But I
There's
mean, it
not a
just
lot of fits in their range.
yeah, right, right, right. I
There's a
mean,
lot of second round, third round guys, but 72 is kind of late to get the guard that they would have to trade up
fuck.
or kind of figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But yeah, I mean, also I could see them going. Like you said, receiver. I mean, if CeeDee Lamb is still on the board, what I mean. Uh, I could see them. I mean, hell, I mean, I I've seen a lot of reports about them talking about tackling and stuff. You know what I mean? So who knows? I mean, there's a lot of tackles that will be around this time. So
They're pretty solid. They're okay at tackle. They have DJ Humphries, who they drafted
yeah,
a couple
hopefully.
years back from Florida. He's a
Hmm.
freak athlete. And then they have, I believe, Marcus Gilbert's the other guy from
Oh
Pittsburgh.
yeah, 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 yeah.
He's serviceable. He's a solid starter. But you can always, you feel like you can upgrade. It's never a bad thing to address the O line.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, so I mean, I see them. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much spot on from where I see it. But yeah, man. So how well do you think they'll do this year?
2 game improvement, 7-9.
7-9. Yeah. Man, like it's hard for me to say because, like, I mean, I want to say 7-9, but I feel like this is one of the more tough divisions in football. So like, I mean, I guess like six. I mean, 7-9, 6-10. See, the thing that makes it hard for me to say like they'll really improve is that I mean, shit. I mean, how good are the Rams gonna be? You know what I mean? Like,
I have the Rams kind of staying the same, but we'll talk about that later.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree that the division's tough, so it's going to be hard. But I mean, the division was tough last year. Truthfully, I mean, it wasn't.
yeah, it was, yeah, yeah,
Not very much. It's not much better than it was last year. The only
yeah.
difference is the cards are going to get better
Hmm.
just by the simple fact that Kyler Murray is going to get older and the coaching staff will get more comfortable, and
And they have a true number one
they'll add.
receiver.
Now they got a dude there
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
to like
yeah, yeah,
just think about Larry Fitzgerald not having to be the number one guy. Like in the slot, you can kind of just get 1-on-1.
hmm
Like he's still old. He's old, but he can still work people.
yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah. So I agree, man. I mean, I want to say, yeah. I mean, I'll just go ahead and say 7-9. I feel like that's safe. I mean,
Stick to 6-10, man.
6-10,
That's
seven and
that's
nine.
what you're feeling. Ah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, shit. I
yeah.
mean, almost
No,
that's the same. You know
they're
what I mean?
probably a 7-9 team or 8-8 team, but they could end up 6-10. That's
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Arizona Cardinals fans, man, y'all have a lot to be excited about, man. Y'all got a super exciting quarterback, and and you have weapons now. You know what I mean, and you got to keep a first round pick. You know what I mean, so that's great. So yeah, man, you got anything else you want to say about the Cards, man?
Nope. It's sunny days in Arizona.
Yep. They are who we think they are.
They were who we thought they were.
Yeah.
We let them off the hook.
Yeah. All right, y'all. That's the Raising Glaze podcast. I'm Leo Reyes Rayon,
I'm Josh Glazer.
and we're on to Seattle. Seattle? Seattle? Bruh.